Hi, this is Loic Maestracci. Now that we're done with recording a couple of our tracks, we're going to move into the mixing. Mixing is very, very important because that's how the different instruments is gonna be arranged sonically across basically the audio signal. So what we're going to focus on is this part, which is the mixing part, the mixer of the DAW. If you remember, I had 3 tracks, electric piano, which we can find here, a bass, that's here, and the drums. Actually, I was using 3 different sounds from the drums: a kick, a snare, and a hi-hat. So they show up individually. And right now, all 5 instruments, or 3 instruments, go to the main out. And what I'm going to do is I want to combine those 3 drum instruments that are separate into one bus. And the way I did it is I select all 3 of them, and I add selected tracks to a bus, and I'm going to call this bus basically drum bus. And what it does to me is now I can just apply effects or sounds or whatever to that track, and it will automatically apply to the 3 others. So it's a way to basically group the individual tracks. Also, what I can do here is, I can basically, do the individual levels. So let's say I want less snare or less kick, but let's say I want to lower all 3 of them or bump it all 3 of them. What I would have to do in general is take each one of them and go like this. Where here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this, and it's going to lower the volume of the 3 drum instruments, as you can see. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, in theory, I can actually even hide in this door. I can hide those 3 tracks, and I will look at 3 tracks. So the main advantage is, if you have multiple, the drums is a good example. You have different instruments. If I had toms, and if I had the ride, and a cymbal and percussion, eventually it could be like 12 different channel strip, and you can combine them in one. So now what I'm going to do is you can do 2 things. You can apply individual effects to those tracks. As an example, the bass here. Select the bass, and I could actually go to my instruments here and see what we have here. So we have a bass. I thought we had a guitar, funk bass, and apply automatically some some setups, Pro EQ, and a compressor on this bass. And boom, it would be more punchy. Lower that. But let's say I want to apply basically a reverb, and apply this reverb across all 3 instruments. I could create an insert on each one of them with a reverb, or the best way to do it is actually to create a separate channel here, and I'm going to call it FX channel here, and I'm going to call it reverb. Set up a reverb. Now I do 1 insert here, so pick a reverb like room reverb. Okay, and I have my reverb here. And now what I will do is I have my 3 tracks, I have 1 reverb, and now I'm going to send each track into that reverb. And when I play, now we can hear the reverb. So I can bump the reverb, lower the reverb, or maybe apply less reverb to the drums, more to the piano. Yeah, nice. And now what you can see is the reverb here is fully, you have a dry wet mix, and it's all the way wet, because the way you apply, the dry wet mix is by lowering or increasing the level of the reverb. The reverb, little bit of reverb, a lot of reverb. So the advantage of doing this is, well, if you want to change the reverb, let's say now I want to move everybody to a cathedral, you move automatically. This effect, this reverb is applied all across, and so on. I can do a public bathroom, why not? Medium studio, and have a nice groove. Hope that was helpful. I would love to hear on your side how you do it in your DAW, and what's your favorite way of inserting effects and doing some mixing.